you a serious question?
That's dangerous, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, as I sit here with my snack and my water, I am curious about something. How many books do you own that have not been read yet?
You know what? Are we counting emotional support books?
Those are absolutely books that we're counting.
Okay, then I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights.
Welcome to Love You, Shut Up, where today we're talking about books and the impossible task of narrowing down the ones that changed us.
Love you.
Shut up. So, talked about music that shaped us, questionable life decisions, and given a little life update. Today, we are diving into one of our favorite topics, books. Whether you're someone who reads one book a year or someone who owns 3 overflowing bookshelves and somehow still buys another special edition, welcome. This episode isn't about the best books ever written. It's about the books that stayed with us.
I have to say, when we started talking about doing a podcast, that this is probably, I knew, was going to be one of your favorite episodes to do.
Yeah, of course it was.
You're more of a bookie than I am when it comes to, like, books. I'll read a book, but I don't need to keep a book. You have to keep a book.
Not always.
If you find a good book that you really like, you have to keep a book.
So I would be that one. And I used to be, well, I still am, I should say. I used to have that bookcase that had tons of books and from every genre. I'm slowly building it back. But I'm also not that one that has to have like the flashy, what are they, the painted
Oh,
edges
the
and
special
stuff.
edition books.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at least one of
no,
your...
that's actually Ireland's.
Oh, okay.
But I stole it. I stole it. So yeah, that one does have painted edges, but it's because, she likes to do the whole like, I'm gonna get this book just to have it, and
Yeah.
no ma'am. No. That's not no.
When did your reading as a
Right. When did
kid?
my obsession happen, or when did I
Okay.
start to like
Right.
reading? Because there's a big difference.
Let's split that up then. Let's break this in half. Yeah. When did the when? Okay.
Whoa.
What was the book that triggered your obsession?
I always loved the story, and so I had a Mr. Graphics guy, not 5x7, not 8x10, in between there, whatever that size is.
6x9.
Okay, cool. So I had a hardbound copy of The Secret Garden that had pictures, but they were almost like the Victorian drawing pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not have the gold edges or anything like that. And I was never one to have the need for a hardbound book. But that one, we ended up losing it, obviously, in the mold. But I had that book, and I was obsessed. And I was obsessed with the movie because I am terrible when it comes to books. Sometimes I watch the adaptations before I read them. But that particular one, I think I was like 9 or 10.
Oh.
I want to say. But I also had a severe obsession. I didn't go to the library like our kids who have been going to the library since they were very, very young. I did not have that. I don't know why I never went. Maybe when I was younger, maybe like the San Diego Municipal Library was not close because going into the city.
See, I was thinking about that too. The distance between my parents to the library nowadays isn't that big of a deal, but back then it kind of was. I did spend a lot of time in the school library, so
Yeah, but see, I didn't spend a lot of time in the school library. I always loved library day, but I didn't spend time there. Like, that wasn't where I didn't have that extra time
Right.
like you did, um, where you would have like areas of periods or whatever. I didn't have that. But I liked the library more on a younger scale, not when I was middle
Yeah.
school and up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah.
was all about going when I was younger. Like I loved library days. And I love libraries now. I love bookstores. I love all that. Like I would love, 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 and I'm using love a lot, but I would love that. It's not a trend, but I've seen it's like the person, because it could be a guy or a girl, tells the other person, okay, you have 5 minutes in a bookstore
Oh,
and grab everything that you can in 5 minutes, but that's all you got. And like your books that you could want, because I could want everything,
right.
right? I would want all kinds of different genres, plus the gardening, plus the cooking, plus the herbal, plus the, all that stuff. But I'd have to run all over the store, and then what's ever there, even if my basket is overflowing,
Right.
I would be all about it. Like, that would be amazing. But like I said, when I was younger, I had the obsession with loving library days, but I also loved the scholastic book fair. Like, I would look at everything, even stuff that didn't matter. Like, I was looking at the GI Joe books, like that was not my thing. But like, I looked at all the different pencils. I looked at all the different books. There was books that I didn't even know I would like there.
Uh-huh.
I would always look for the puppy posters or the unicorn. Lisa Frank, heck yeah,
The
okay.
binders
Lisa
and
Frank
yeah.
posters, and I love scholastic book fairs. As far as the first book that really got me, well, that's a lie. It's not just The Secret Garden, but anything by Beatrix Potter. I know that has a really dark past. I found out recently that that's kind of her reasons for writing were not the greatest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was like, woo, okay then. I had this little box set of these tiny little books. Like, okay, graphic designer again, this by this. I know nobody can see my hand.
It's like a
Like,
5 by 5.
okay, so they were little, like,
Yeah.
they were bigger than, smaller than a little golden book.
Right.
I don't know what to say. Bigger than,
Bigger than a bread box.
okay. Anyway, but it had, like Peter Rabbit, and it had, all like one of them I remember was the porcupine mom. She had an apron, a blue apron on, and all the little porcupine
Now, were
bears.
they from the same author, or was it just? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were all
See, I only know her from the Velveteen Rabbit. I didn't know she had like.
Velveteen Rabbit. That's not
That's
Beatrix
not.
Potter.
Who's Beatrice Potter then?
Peter Rabbit.
That's what I meant. I knew it was Peter Rabbit, and I said the
You said
Velveteen
Velveteen
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Now,
My
no, I will
brain.
say I love that story. That was one I loved too. You just like core memoried me because I did love the Velveteen Rabbit. What people had in Corduroy, the little teddy bear book. Do you know Corduroy? It's a children's
I
book.
think so.
Okay, so Corduroy, mine was Velveteen Rabbit.
Okay.
I had that was my yeah. I know nobody can see it, but I'll post it in our
Our
what?
Facebook group,
Your
yeah.
Facebook group? What? That's the one I had.
Gotcha.
That one right there. Marjorie Williams, who wrote Velveteen Rabbit. So, I mean, children classics, there you go. Velveteen Rabbit.
I don't remember reading anything until like 6th grade. Like I remember picking up
You didn't
books.
read
No, no, no,
anything.
no. What I'm saying
No, you read your
is,
catalogs.
I
That's what.
shut up. Leave my tisms alone.
Nope. Nope, you read
I
your
I
catalogs.
remember there was a book that I kind of like hyper fixated on in like 4th or 5th grade, but I don't remember the name of it. But it was like almost like a small little like this had like random facts in it.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I don't remember reading. Like I remember reading in class, but I never remember what we read in
Well,
class.
like fourth or fifth grade was like light what was it? Light in the Attic. Uh
Yeah, I
that was
remember
really cool for
those.
me. Those were elementary. So Light
So
in the
like
Attic,
yeah,
where the
that
sidewalk
was where the
ends.
sidewalk ends. Yeah.
Um Scary Stories. Do you remember that one? I had somebody on the Facebook group and we're like mentioning it already, but Hey, we have a Facebook group. It's literally
Hey, at least we remember. We also have an email.
yeah, wow. But we have a Facebook group if you want to join it. It's Love You, Shut Up, the podcast. And you just search it, Visible. You can join and you'll see there's interaction happening already. But back to what I was saying was
It's
the scary stories.
mm-hmm.
It black and it had a
Had
black
the skull.
and
Yeah,
it had a weird looking, it wasn't just a
it was
skull,
like
it
a
was
paper, not a paper mache, but it was like different pictures cut out to make it look like a
right.
skull. Yeah,
And then it had like a red, like,
outline
yeah.
around it. Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody brought that up because I did pose a question about what book, like, do you remember well or something? And somebody was like, oh, that Scary Stories book.
And I remember reading The Indian in the Cupboard in class. Like we did, like where everybody had to read
See,
in class. It went around the class, so we were reading out loud the whole
yeah, so
time,
everybody, okay,
so
so
everybody
you
had a
read the
chance.
next stance,
Yep,
please,
and
blah,
then
blah, blah. Yeah.
we're starting here. We're going clockwise. So
I would panic.
I hated it
I would
because
panic so bad. I would panic.
yeah. Well, I'm glad they stopped.
That's where
that.
it goes, right?
Right,
I'm terrible. I saw a lot of the movie adaptations. Like literally, I saw The Indian in the Cupboard
right.
or like The Chronicles of Narnia. I never read that, but I had an obsession, full obsession, and I made you watch it. I remember when we lived in the basement apartment, the 80s version through BBC.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
remember that?
I see. I remember watching it before then too.
Well,
I
right,
do
but I was
remember
like,
seeing
this is
it.
the one. It's
Yeah,
not the one that just came out, when they redid them
but
all.
right. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was like, the 80s BBC version. Always, that one holds
yeah.
hard. Like, those Lucy and Edmund and Mr. Tumnus, those were the ones. Like, and you know what's funny? Because we talked about it on the last episode. Remember how I romanticized Anne of Green Gables?
Yeah.
Never read the books.
It was because of the movie or the TV series,
It was like a mini
like a
series.
miniseries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was yeah. I never but I would like, do you remember Goosebumps?
I never read Goosebumps,
I would willingly read.
and it was because it was one of those things that where everybody was into it,
Mm. So
and
you were like
I was
boycotting.
like, well, part of it was like you could never get the book because it was always checked out by
Okay.
someone.
Okay.
And then the other part was, yeah, I was like, nah, I'll just find something else to read.
Right. Like, and there was the old school ones like Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. I never got into either of those.
I never
I
did
know that
either.
my mother said she read Nancy Drew. So, that's been around for a while. I never did, like, we did some research to see.
Yeah, we definitely.
Because honestly, like,
I can't think back that
our,
far.
our parent brains are done. We're not. But, like, I never read Bridge to Terabithia
No.
or Hold.
I didn't even know Bridge to Terabithia was a book until after the movie came out.
I mean, most movies
And
are.
we'll get to those,
Let's
but
be so for real. I do remember having to read Where the Red Fern Grows, and I distinctly remember. And I did have to read, like in school, I did have to read Isle of the Blue Dolphin. I remember having to do that in high school, actually, ninth grade. I had to read that one.
So it's a funny story about the Island of the Blue Dolphin. In fifth grade, they started splitting up classes into college prep type stuff.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
This one English class that did the upper reading in fifth grade did read The Island of the Blue Dolphin, and they had to do a project where they basically had to retell the story, not a slideshow per se, but with a slide projector. Like they had to draw like different scenes on these little small ass squares to put in the projector. And I thought that was the coolest thing, but I was too dumb to be a part of that project. So I think that was the reason I don't remember what we read that year. because I kind of like blocked that book, but I don't remember anything about any of the presentations, but I just remember that was one of the presentations they had to do. And that, like I said, that was fifth grade. So,
Right. Now, I will tell you a series that I found a lot later in life that had nothing to do with me and everything to do with our daughter. She loved listening to the audiobooks of the Magic Tree House. And what's really cool about those books is Mary Pope Osborne, the actual author, she read the audiobooks.
that's neat.
She made a choice to do it. And the stories behind them are just, you learn history by these time traveling kids. Literally, that's what the Magic Tree House is.
So, to our Facebook group, or those deciding to join our Facebook group, now tell us what made you think, oh wow, I actually like reading. Because I know a lot of this was forced on us growing up. And I think that's why a lot of people have a hard time getting into reading.
Yeah,
It's because
I did
there's
not.
literally trauma behind it.
Yeah, no, the whole like, I loved the Book It program when I wanted to participate in it, right? But when I had to fight against classmates to get a prize or I was you know what I mean?
Right.
And I remember that happening with Ireland too, because they had that stupid thing in school where she would be assigned a color. And if she didn't advance from said color or stayed in that color realm too long, they were pretty much beat down on the whole, like, well, you haven't moved from orange to white yet. Why are you not comprehending? So it's like, when you're given these
Right. I mean,
adverse
the same thing with like all the Joe Corby pizzas and the candy bars and those kinds of things. Look at how well this group did. Hey, everybody.
how many
Yeah.
cookies you
Right.
sold.
Whatever.
You were the top
Why am I
seller.
raising money for the school? That's what tax
But
money
anyway,
is
we're
for.
done. So, books that changed everything. Like, let's talk about this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a list
Okay.
and I can unlock, again, I'm going to use core memory, like out of style this but I can remember exactly where I was. I think what is that called? Like a snapshot memory?
Of that moment.
Yeah, but like my brain snapshots and I can see myself. Like people are like, oh my God, what? She's crazy. But like I can see myself. So I'm gonna ask you and then I'll tell mine because I'm really interested to hear.
Okay.
Like I have a list that I want to ask you.
Okay.
And then yeah. So what book made you cry? You can say before and recent.
I don't think a book recently has made me cry. Not that I can remember off the top of my head. I do remember crying in Order of the Phoenix is when Sirius dies. At least I think so. It's been a really long time since I've actually read the books. His death broke me. I knew it
Was it explained so well? Or was there hard detail? Or was it because of the previous building that you had gotten to know him and what was happening in his world and why he had the relationships that he did that you're like, oh man.
It's because it came out of left field. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was him.
Right.
That was because someone spoiled it for me. I think his death, even though I knew it was coming, it was so out of left field, but not like it was during a battle, so it wasn't like it was like shocking that he died.
He wasn't just like walking down the hallway and all of a sudden got impaled.
It happened, and because of everything that was going on,
Yeah.
you didn't have the time to really like marinate in it.
Right.
Because a lot of the times, authors will take a death and squeeze out a couple of pages, and his was very much out of left field. Well, not left field, but like you're not expecting it. And I think a lot of what you had said about how his relationships with everybody had kind of.
I mean, I know enough about the books. I'm one of those that has not read the Potter books. I've seen the movies, but I've not. But I do understand the background of his relationships
So you remember from the movie though, it kind of
I
like,
mean that, and I also know from the conversations you and Ireland have had about the books
uh,
to know the depth of what happened.
right.
It wasn't just the cinematic. Like, so that's then, is there one recent or no?
I don't remember.
So, okay, I'll share mine. Again, snapshot, like I can see it. So before, I literally remember we were living in the basement apartment and I was reading the notebook and it was 12:30 in the morning and you were in that like half sleep. You were kind of awake and you knew that I was reading or whatever. And I had finished the notebook and I launched that book across the room.
That's right.
Yeah, I launched that book and
I
I was
remember
ugly
that.
crying,
Yeah.
sniffles, everything. And that movie adaptation, they did a great job, but the book still holds so much. And then in the more recent times, it's the second book of the Ravenhood series, Exodus. Oh man, dumb. I can't say too much because I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't read it yet.
Okay, so let's back it up. I think I also remember you ugly crying with a particular death in the Fourth Wing series.
Oh yeah,
I was
absolutely.
shocked and I applauded.
Yeah.
I always forget her name. I
What? Rebecca
applauded
Yaros.
Yaros for doing it.
Yaros.
I applaud her for doing it
Yeah,
because
I ugly cried. Oh, I ugly cried. But I even like I ugly cried even more so with Mason. I was listening to it. And I will
oh
say, like with the audiobooks, right? Especially ones that are done, like shout out to graphic audio, like for real. When they have that full cast, you know it's like a whole thing. I literally, I was driving and listening to the book, and we're sitting at a light, and all of a sudden it happens, and I am a mess. And Mason goes, "Are you okay, mommy? It's all right. It'll be all right." And I'm like, "No, no, it's not. It's not okay.
fictional people are dying.
No, like I'm emotionally attached to fictional characters, okay? We love rainy days, don't we, baby? Yep. Oh my god. Okay, I have to move on because I'll start crying now. Do you remember staying up all night with a book?
When I first started reading The Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
it was the first book that it was really the first book that got me into reading to begin with. And I read a lot. It took me a while to get through it, but
Yeah, but the
put a
world
lot of
building in
time
there, you
into it.
have to, right?
Yes, and that's, well, we talk about it later, but yeah, Tolkien just
Well, no, and I'm just saying
thrived
alone from
at
like
that.
what I know. I never read that series.
You've seen the extended
Oh, heck yeah, I
movies.
have. But I'm just saying, like, just that, I
Right,
couldn't imagine. Like, in the
right.
book. Like, I have a copy
Oh,
over
we do have
there
those now. I forgot about
that,
those.
my mom gave me. And those are the gold edges. But that book has been around. I remember growing up with that book around. Like, and I used to look through it just because it had cool maps.
Yeah.
But, like, just to think the world building
He
with
was a big
that.
nerd.
Yeah. All right. Nothing wrong with a nerd. All right. What about it's that was then. What about now? Do you remember staying
Now
up?
I have a hard time staying up late.
Unless you're playing a game.
Well, I'm playing Minecraft, and I can stay up until like 2 a.m. Fine, I can't expect. Don't expect me to read.
Now, again, snapshot, okay. The night we were living in the mold condo, I will call it that.
Okay.
But the Twilight series, when we got to Breaking Dawn, I stayed up almost all night. Ireland, I think, she was like, I don't know, like 4 or 5, I want to say. And I didn't come to bed until like 4 because I read the whole book from start to finish.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that night. Like it was, I started at like 4 because it was after I picked her up from school. And then I didn't go to bed. I read it, the whole thing. Like that one was I stayed up all night. What made you rethink life? Was there any that made you rethink life other than Lord of the Rings?
I think a lot of the Dark Tower by Stephen King, a lot of that series kind of made me rethink things. I definitely
I don't know anything about that one, so.
We'll get to it. I don't think there's a book that really changed my perspective of life. I'm not really a person that reads that heavy into book. Like I'll get lost in a series or whatever, but I don't think I've ever had a book change me on a type of level that would make me rethink things. What about you? Another snapshot?
Actually, no. This time, don't make fun of me.
I'm not. I'm just
Okay,
pulling.
don't make fun of me.
Not.
Because I'll roast you.
I know you will.
Okay.
You have so much dirt on me.
I don't remember when I was reading this. It was when I fell in love with Kristen Hanna. She wrote Firefly Lane, and it's a book that has to be read. They made a Netflix adaptation, and it's completely garbage. A lot of people are like, "Oh my god, I loved it," but you didn't read the book. It had a whole different connotation. That book is one that I suggest all females read, especially if they're looking to create, I don't know what to call it, like not a village, because it's more about a relationship with that friend on a level that is never going to break. It's one that made me go, okay, you know what? I would rather choose to have this type of friendship versus the surface level stuff. Like I would much rather not have an acquaintance. I would rather build that platonic love friendship where I love you dearly versus just, hey, how are you doing? What about recently, I guess, more so because what my question is of what book made you fall in love with reading again? I mean, it doesn't have to be recently, I guess, but you could have.
I got into Dungeons and Dragons when I was like 10, trying to learn the system, but I didn't have anybody to play with. And then one day he's like, "Hey, you should probably pick up these books. You'll probably like them if you like the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Here's this book. If you can finish that one, I'll give you, or I'll let you borrow the other two because we were borrowing them from someone he knew." So he lets me borrow Lord of the Rings, and so I start reading the Lord of the Rings, and it sucked me in. It did.
Okay.
And I read Lord of the Rings on my own. You couldn't pay me to read anything. I took Lord of the Rings and I ran with it. Oh, I got through The Hobbit. He gave me The Hobbit first.
Okay.
And he's like, if you
Is
like.
that the first, or is that.
Technically, it's. The Hobbit is the
prequel? Okay.
to The Fellowship of the Rings. The idea that this book wrapped itself into my DNA got me looking for other books after I was done the series. And it did. It took me a very long time to finish the series. I struggled through the last book. And I had a hard time after getting through it finding another series that I liked that was close to that. Because by the time I got out of Lord of the Rings, authors were starting to write for actual Dungeons and Dragons settings. Dragonlance is a big one that pops into my head. This huge series that I wanted to jump into, and I felt like getting into a 50-book series at the beginning was setting myself up to fail.
That's a lot.
And
that's a lot.
I learned about the Wheel of Time books later, like in high school, like later in high school, and they were already 12 books deep, and those things are huge.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't put that kind of money into a series. I was lucky, and I didn't think about the library, but I don't think the library would have had any of those type, especially the little library that we had in town. Didn't have that kind of selection.
Okay. So jumping off of what you're saying, right? About like the Wheel of Time, the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, that kind of stuff. What do you think is like the phenomenon, speaking like as in times of now, right? Not when you were younger. Because like when you were younger, it was a way to like get into a world and escape or whatever, right? But now, what do you feel like the phenomenon is of fantasy becoming mainstream? That and the found family that's showing up in the fantasy and the morally great characters and like what's going on now that seems to have this powerhouse of fantasy becoming mainstream.
I think Bo Burnham put it best when he said, "The world around us is on fire. It always has been." And I think that is why so many of us find comfort in books
Hmm.
because the world is literally on fire around us and none of us can do anything about it. So we jump into these worlds where we know, hey, this book is going to have an ending
Right.
where everything wraps up.
Well, we hope.
It's not.
We hope. I only say that because, like, think about Akhtar,
I'm
right?
not saying that it's a good ending or a bad ending.
What I'm saying is, right, like, Akhtar right now, right? Like, certain areas have evolved into a semi-ending in a way.
Right.
Like, I can't talk about all of it because there's people who haven't read it, right? But I'm just saying, like,
Right.
in that
And I
instance,
think,
right? There's
and
new
I
ones
feel
coming.
bad. I feel bad for like Game of Thrones fans because they've been waiting for the last book for like I won't say decades, but a good like 5 years before the HBO series started. Originally, they've been waiting for a book for a very long time, and he's like, I may get around to it.
Which
And
that's crappy on an author.
and
I
I'm
will say
like,
that that's pretty awful. Don't do that to people who are waiting. And like,
and I feel like I got to look his name up real quick, but I think that there's a lot of I need to escape.
or like more like I guess you need to escape because reality is so stinky right now.
Right.
Like honestly, the reality of everything that's going on in the world, and let's even just bring it back down to, in our immediate area, right? Not where we live, but in immediate of wherever you live, right? There's always going to be stuff going on. And it's just a way to jump. But I find it funny that there's always like found family in that too. Like what
I think at the heart of all fantasy is the desire for even the author, and I may be presumptuous to say this, but even the author to kind of find himself escaping as he's writing or as they're writing. And there's so much brokenness out there that people are looking for ways to kind of feel whole. Fiction, especially fantasy fiction, does such a good way with that because fantasy fiction has one thing that a modern story doesn't, and that's magic and dragons. You put that in a suburban cul-de-sac story, it's no longer about the suburban cul-de-sac. It's why does the neighbor have a dragon?
right. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's so easy to write about worlds that don't exist. Like I would love to write urban fantasy based out of Baltimore. Okay. But I don't think I could give Baltimore the justice it deserves with it at the center at least. So I think that's why fantasy is so popular from an author's point of view because I can make the world.
Right.
And if I come to a wall in my story, I can go, okay, well, that wall was there because of X, Y, Z. And, oh, during the Ninth Gnomish Revolution,
right.
they broke through.
Some of the Gnomish.
They broke through and we never repaired it because we liked the hole it made.
Right.
So there's a hole there now.
Okay, so let's twist it.
Okay.
Okay. What about suspense type books and how there are some sort in a way of a found family there? Like how does that work? Because like I just read one not too long ago that was about three women in a cul-de-sac. That's why I snickered when you said in a cul-de-sac because I was like, wait, hold on, what? Because that's what happened in that book. There was they all lived in a cul-de-sac. It was called You Deserve to Know by Aggie Bloom Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty much a found family. It's a suspense book. I don't want to say what happened because said found family crumbled, right? But there was a found family within the suspense book. And there's been other ones that I've read with other people, like Aaliyah, right? When she wanted me to read Frida McFadden, we read Never Lie together. And there was a found family in that in a way. It crumbled. So I guess from like an author point of view, how does that work? The question of me asking as an author doesn't even need to be there. I guess the found family can happen across genres, right?
Yeah, because I mean that's what Flock was basically about.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely.
series.
The Ravenhood series, absolutely. The family you chose versus what you were born into. Yeah.
like I said earlier, there's a lot of brokenness that people are trying to heal,
Yeah.
and a lot of trauma that people are a lot to heal.
Okay, so do you feel then that's why readers become emotionally attached to characters?
The thing about characters, they're written for a reason. Sometimes you get attached to characters that weren't meant to be anything other than,
I guess you could be like attached to a character because that's what you always wanted,
right,
in like a partner
or a friend, or
to be pursued, like Reese
right,
pursued Farah, or how a lot of the different like I don't know. I'm curious as to why readers become, and that's more of my psychology side. That background for me, like my psychology background goes to the how do you get attached?
Well, I
So
think
like that's a question for Facebook too. Why do you get attached?
I think it depends on the reason you're reading to. Sometimes you're reading a book and you get attached to a character not because of anything other than whatever is driving the character is bringing you back.
What do you mean?
Like
Explain.
it's almost like if they're driving the plot, you're going back for the plot. But sometimes a character will just stick with you, and you keep reading to see how they end up.
Or you watch them crash and burn.
Or yeah.
Let's talk about Tamlin. Oh Lord.
Right, everybody loves Tamlin coming out of the first book.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read the book,
yeah, if you haven't read it, like I understand why they love Tamlin. I'll be here for you for along your ride. So we touched on why readers love the fantasy realm so much right now, but I guess my other question is it the romance or is it like the world building that hooks people in?
I love this question because the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. A good build world brings in those readers who like good built worlds. A good romance brings in the readers who like the good romance. I, as a world builder, enjoy a good world building or a good built book.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care what the genre is. If you give me a book and go, hey, I think you would like this because, the world is fleshed out and you get some whatnots in the background and you got other things going on than just the main plot between girl A falling for girl B who she shouldn't be falling for because boy C is actually in love. The typical type of romance in the fantasy setting. I'll give it a whirl. I went into Fourth Wing like that. I wasn't really in for the romance side of it. I went in because you were like,
you
I
were
heard
into the romanticy part. It
right.
was
It was what kept me going was both of the things.
right.
But I went in going, let's see how the world building is.
Which that one was good.
Pretty good.
that one was good. So why do you feel? I mean, you've obviously brought to the table Tolkien, okay? But why do you feel that everybody compares every fantasy to Tolkien?
So a lot of people see Tolkien as like the grandfather of fantasy.
Okay.
He didn't do it first, but he did it best. And I say that because the people who came before him, they focused on their book. Mm-hmm. They focused on the story that was happening of their book. And that is perfectly fine because that's what you were doing. You were reading a book to read the story in the book. Tolkien, that's not how he wrote. He wrote the Elvish language that appeared in the book way before he started. From that, he created poetry in the Elvish tongue that described things that happened during the creation of his world. Right. And he wove that into the story overall, and it became not just a story of Frodo taking a ring to Mordor to get rid of it. The history didn't just feel like a footnote. Right. It felt like, there's like
the who, what, where, why.
Right. Like it felt better fleshed out. And one of the hardest things to do as a reader is at the end of The Lord of the Rings it kind of makes you want to go, well, there's more to the story now. Like, how do they move on after the ring is destroyed? And how well is Aragorn like a king? And you kind of want to go, okay, I'm in.
Right.
Because it wasn't like, oh, the story ended and Aragorn's king and now what? It is, oh no, he's got a lot to live up to.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and he knew it, and he didn't think that he was going to be a good leader, and everybody told him, no, you're going to be a great leader. So, like, I'm in it now because I want to see, like, and there's plenty of books out there. And that's one thing I never wanted to do, though. I never wanted to get into those books because I was afraid that so many authors, and what so many authors do, is they start writing books that never end. Dan Brown, I'm talking to you. And you end up writing the same book over and over again.
Or Janet Ivanovich, or yeah.
James Patterson.
Yeah.
So the idea that
speaking of, okay, you speak of these authors, right? Sorry, not to cut you off. You speak of these authors who never stop in that same genre, and like the story just goes and goes and goes. It's funny, like I see some of the authors that are coming up in the last, what, like 8 years,
right,
9 years or so. Like I don't know, Sarah J. Maas, Rebecca Yarros. Okay, Sarah J. Maas is pulling fantasy hard. Okay,
so right. On the opposite side of that, though, real quick, Brandon Sanderson is a prolific fantasy writer. He's best known for his Mistborn series, but he is the Wheel of Time book series that I talked about a little bit ago.
Okay.
It's got like 40-some books, and the author died before he was able to finish them. So they went to Brandon Sanderson and said, hey, can you finish the series for us? And he said, absolutely, I would. Okay, so he stepped up to write the end of that book, or the end of that series. He went on vacation during COVID and made every single author out there completely look like we're useless because he pumped out 3 books.
Right.
And he came out and he was like, hey guys, guess what? I got 3 books ready to go. And we're like, man, calm the F down, dude. So yeah, there's people that, and his stuff isn't slop though. It's not like lazy.
It's the ones of today, right? So like Sarah J. Maas, right? Hers are not slop, and she has various different. But it's funny because I haven't read all of them. I'm a fan, but I have not read all of them yet. But apparently, they all intertwine somehow.
Well, I heard you had a problem getting into one
Throne
of the
of Glass.
Yeah.
But I've been told Throne of Glass starts out slow, and then it all of a sudden starts kicking some butt. So, but in the realm of like what you were saying about those authors that just keep going and going and going and going and going, one I will point out who I've seen her do lots of different, right? Rebecca Yarros.
Yeah.
Okay. She writes Fourth Wing, right? That's dragons and a darker world that houses some pretty gnarly things, right?
Right.
But then let's go to her other books, and they're in a completely different realm of things. So, like The Last Letter, okay? That book, totally not in that realm, okay? And that will leave you in tears. But then there's the book of The Things We Leave Unfinished. I read that one also, and that one was completely a different timeline, a different genre, a different everything. But then, she has other ones that you're sitting here going, what? Because they're not all fantasy, right? So it's funny. Whereas, Frida McFadden, hers is suspense. Hers is whodunit. Hers has twists and turns all the time.
I think a really good author can reach outside of their comfort genre without a problem. I think Stephen King, like him or hate him, does a wonderful job stepping away from the horror that he's known for.
Yeah. He absolutely can.
If you ever get a chance to pick up any of his short story stuff, some of his short stories are not spooky or not. They've got a little bit of suspense, but there's deeper layers to it.
Right.
I recently watched the adaptation of The Long Walk. It's a story about a group of kids who basically have volunteered, almost Hunger Game-ish like,
Okay.
to do this unending walk until each of them drop dead. The winner gets like fame and fortune and one wish and all these things, and so there's a lot of talk between these kids on this walk that know that not all of them are going to make it, and you start going, oh, this is kind of like this is dark in a
Okay.
way of like, oh, they're kind of like at the very beginning they're all kind of getting along, and except like one or two are little like outliners, and as the story progresses they start recognizing that not all of them are going to make, or obviously they know from the beginning that not all of them are going to make it, but as the story progresses they start noticing who's left. And Stephen King does a wonderful job of telling a great story, no matter what
Right.
genre he's sitting in. It's one of
Right.
the reasons I picked up the Dark Tower originally, because I thought it was going to be a medieval horror. I was completely blown out of the water by the fact that it was anything but that. Are there horror elements? Absolutely, but you
It's
could
that he's got to have it
but you could
somewhere.
say, but it's not horror in the typical, like,
Right.
it's not like The Shining,
Right.
okay? The
Right.
Shining is a psychological horror in a way that The Dark Tower is just about the horror of a world collapsing.
Well,
And
it's the same
it's,
as The Stand, right?
right.
That was a completely different, that was scary to watch, but to think that that's.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something crazy that's off script.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're gonna play a game called Who is This Author?
Oh, okay.
What did she write? Okay,
She, just females?
dang. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna read from her wiki page.
Okay.
Okay, the beginning of her career. Okay, we're talking about authors that can step outside of their comfort zones. She began her career in 1991 as a writer for children's television shows. She worked on several shows for Nickelodeon and Nick Jr., including Clarissa
Clarissa explains it
Clarissa
all.
Explains It All, The Mystery Files of Shelby Woo, Little Bear, Oswald, and Wow Wow Wasby. She was also the head writer for PBS spin-off Clifford's Puppy Days. She received a Writers Guild of America nomination in animation for co-writing critically acclaimed 2001 Christmas special, Santa Baby. After meeting children's author James Promis while working on the kids' WB show Generation O, she felt inspired to write children's books herself. Tell me the author or what she ended up writing.
I have no idea.
Her name is Susan Collins.
Oh.
You may know her from the Hunger Games.
Oh my God. What? Wait. She wrote Oswald and Little Bear?
Yo, she wrote Wow Wow Wasby.
I mean, okay, whatever, but Little Bear and Oswald? What?
And would go on to write one
The
of
Hunger Games.
the top grossing movies during those times.
Oh my. That is crazy. I mean, I guess it's like timeline wise, in a way, not the same. I mean, that's like, that's mind blowing. But timeline wise, Kristen Hanna was like real big, back, right? But then she kind of got quiet for a while. And now she's back hard. Like she has like a renewed popularity with stuff. And what's funny is like I said, there's, she's also one that can span over different things. The books that I know, I'm speaking to what I know, right? I haven't read all of her books. It wasn't like what I did with Jodi Picoult and Nicholas Sparks. Like with them, those two, I read all their books, right? Like my mother has a fascination infinity for Janet Ivanovich books. Like she's read all of them. The ones that I have read by Kristen Hanna, it was basically a coming of age, coming of, found family of best friend with Firefly Lane, right? And against all odds, no matter what, you'll be there for each other, to one that I read called The Women. And that was about women nurses in Vietnam. And then I just read another one by her called The Four Winds, which was about a family in the Dust Bowl. So it's across spans of genres. And I haven't even read The Nightingale, which is another one that's hugely popular. And then there's another one, Long Road or something like that. I don't know, but I've been recommended both of those. And again, they're completely different. They're not, the same all the way across.
Right.
Why do you feel like, I guess from like around 2022, maybe even go back COVID, right? Because let's go to 2020, right? Why do you think, I mean, we know why in COVID. We know why, because people were trying to escape the trauma of COVID.
Right.
And you had nothing else to do. Pretty much from 22 to now,
All the authors that were writing during COVID.
you think that's the explosion?
I think that was one of the explosions. I
Well, I'm
believe.
I'm even talking from a reader standpoint, not so much as the author.
I think
Like you're coming at it from the author point of view because that you do,
I should have done
right?
it. Yeah.
But I'm saying, well, but I'm saying from a reader point of view, why do you feel the explosion happened so hard in the last
I think
what,
social media has a lot to do with it.
book
I
talk?
think not just book talk,
Is
but
book talk responsible for it though, or is it
I think it's social media in general. I think a lot of authors, especially indie authors, were figured, especially during COVID, they learned, wow, I can still reach an audience, even though I can't go out and have like meet and greets or, like I know there's that one author that's been at the Celtic Festival every year that I have his book that I haven't read. I'm sorry. I bought the first book and I completely forgot I had it and it's on my shelf somewhere. I know it's there. I know it's still there.
right?
So I haven't read it, but I appreciate you signing it for me after I bought it. He does the indie thing where he goes to different conventions and those kinds of things and those kinds of local events. And during the shutdown, everything was shut down.
Right.
So you had to find a new way to still get your book out and still get people eyes on your book.
Right.
And I think TikTok, I think
Instagram,
Instagram, and
apps like Goodreads and that kind of stuff.
I think Goodreads. I bet you if you go back and look at Goodreads, I think there was probably a definite like explosion of user during
Oh, I'm sure.
during
Because it was a
those
way
times.
to keep, hey, I read this. Hey, I read this.
Right.
It was a way to, and on Goodreads, you're able to rate so that the other
Right. Other
people can see, did you like it? Did you not like it? Is it a
Right.
DNF? Is it a,
Right.
whatever? So, I think social media, I think you're right.
I
Social
think it
media has a lot
definitely
of play in that.
is book talk one of the reasons so many books became popular. Yeah, but I think that's a double-edged sword. You get in the habit of listening to those certain people over and over again, where their opinion becomes more than your own opinion.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing about the downside of book talk though is you get used to people saying, "Oh, it was a good book" or "it was a bad book," but they don't really because you only have a certain amount of time. You don't really have the time
like
to get.
10 minutes.
Yeah, you don't have really time to get into it. Like there.
So okay, so the pros are you're discovering new books, bringing new readers into this said hobby, right? Possibly supporting indie authors
Mhm.
because it's not always about the big ones like Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros or Stephen King and then there's the cons. Hype disappointment can be huge, right? Unrealistic expectations because somebody hypes it up so bad that you're like, I have to read this book and it flops for you.
Right.
Right? Like I know one person who was like, I just can't do it with Avatar. And I'm like, I think you could, but where her brain is right now, it is complete where she just wants to hang out in the suspense genre. She doesn't really want to move from that right now.
Mhm.
So if you're not able to move, see with me, I can have like, here's this book suspense, here's this fantasy one rolling, here's this one of, enemies to lovers. And I'm listening to like 3 different books, right? I don't have where I like have my blinders on of this is where I want to be right now. You know what I mean? But I also feel like, book talk has a huge problem of spoilers.
I've never run across a spoiler on TikTok for a book I was reading.
Okay, well, that's the difference.
I think
I'm on book talk more, I guess, because
probably.
I'm such a bookie. But yeah, there's been spoilers where I was like, What do you mean? And that's why I'm trying so hard not to say certain things because I don't want to ruin it for people with some things. What about you guys? Like, have you ever bought a book because of book talk? And if you have, was it worth the hype? Did you have to go after one that had the sprayed edges and the decorative look, or were you happy having just the one from Barnes and Noble or Books A Million or even Amazon? Or hey, I have found my new love of thrift books. None of those are sponsored, but I've found that's a great asset. Or, just borrowing them from other people. But have you bought a book because of book talk? I'm curious of how many people have. Definitely leave the answer. I'm posting as we're recording the questions so that you guys can take on to that. But I will say what we're about to discuss is definitely going to be a heavy section for Jessie because I myself am not an author. I remember having in one of my college classes having to write a children's book and I couldn't even do that. I was like, Jessie, help me.
You wrote the book. I just illustrated it for you.
No, you had to like teach me how children's books do this and they rhyme and sometimes they do this and that and this and I was like, okay. And you had to help me get started. It's just not, my brain doesn't brain that way. But yeah, so like bookish language. Let's talk about that for a second, okay?
We can do these.
Just for a second.
Troops.
Like I'm just curious, okay? So like bookish language.
Let's go. Speed
NMC,
round.
MFC.
So MMC, MFC, main male character and main female character. They're the head of your book. There you
Okay.
go.
And the enemies to lovers trope, like what?
Okay, so that hates breed horniness. You hate someone until you're horny for them.
Are you done?
That's the easiest way to describe it.
Oh my God. Friends to lovers.
Friendship breeds horniness.
Okay, we're not doing this. Only one bed? What does that mean?
So it's a scene normally in like an enemies to lovers type book
Where,
where
I know.
the two people hate each other and there's only one place to sleep.
Okay, so they have to share a bed.
So they have to share a bed, and so
one lays on top of the covers, one lays under
the covers, or
Okay.
one puts up like a wall of pillows.
Right. Okay. What about second chance romance? What do you feel that is? Like, give me an example.
Second chance romance, The Notebook. That's an easy one.
How?
She came back to town. They had their thing in the beginning. He came back and they had a romance. Second chance romances.
That's not what happened.
What am I thinking of then?
I don't know.
Sweet Home
she
Alabama.
was engaged to Cal and then met him.
Yeah, but earlier in the book, they were together, right?
No. Her and Noah, Allie and Noah were never together.
Then why'd he
in the beginning.
buy the book?
She
the
was
house
engaged to somebody else.
in the beginning of the book? No, I meant in earlier in life, not in the beginning of the book. But
no,
like,
they were not together.
then why did he buy the house?
Because during the time that she met him and they had their little flingy thingy, like getting to know each other or whatever, she just spoke on it.
Oh, okay. I don't. I'm having. It's been forever since I saw the movie, and it resonates with you
No,
better.
it's okay. Touch her and die.
I think that can also be wrapped up with like who did this to you.
Okay.
It's very much a not. They're not being like oh you or they're being like super overprotective, but a lot of the times it's very kind of like unnoticeable until something happens major.
What about like would Quicksilver be a good?
I think the second Quicksilver book works better. I don't remember the name of the second book, but yeah, the second book. Listen, I have a hard time remembering my own phone number.
The fact that you don't remember your.
Kingfisher was the second book, wasn't it?
No, that was his name.
I know that was his name, but I thought the second book was
Brimstone was the second one. Academia.
School, college locations.
Dark Academia.
Same thing, but grittier. Okay, Harry Potter is Academia. Dark Academia is definitely Fourth Wing.
Okay.
They are in a school setting.
Right.
You get the vibe of kind of like not an everyday. Yeah, you get You get college life in there a little bit.
They go to class. Yeah,
Right.
okay.
They do stupid college things, and
Yeah.
so I definitely think that that's a dark.
All right. So cozy fantasy versus urban fantasy.
Okay, so urban fantasy, probably I don't think anybody listening right now has ever heard of the series, but it's called the Dresden Files. It's a series of books. Um, but my note is magic in the city. Okay, like Sex in the City, but magic in the city. Like, what if Carrie was an elf and Samantha was a minotaur? That's urban fantasy. That is fantasy in an urban setting. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So cozy fantasy is not necessarily. I won't call it like no stakes because things are still happening, but it's much more on a everyday kind of. You get more of a. It's more of a vibe
Okay.
than a trope.
Okay.
Read a cozy?
I have. So one of
Oh, yeah, you have. Or the one that where she inherits a house and the
yes,
gargoyles.
yes,
I would say
magical midlife maybe.
I think that's more. I want
Cozy.
to. No. I don't think that's. I think that's kind of like borderline cozy
Oh,
because there's a lot of like high stakes stuff later on in
okay.
the series. I would call that suburban fantasy.
Okay. I'm consulting my timeline real quick to see if I can pull one.
The guy dies. He's like 50 something. Him and his wife were divorced. He dies and he goes to this tea shop where he meets.
We tried to finish. It's by
We ran out of time.
yeah, we ran out of time. He's the popular author right now. His name is TJ Klune.
That is very much cozy fantasy.
You think so?
Because there's no stakes. The guy's already dead. He
Well,
knows.
no, we don't know what.
Well, yeah, we did not finish
what's
it,
happening.
but at least until this point of where we ran out of time, there was nothing high stake-ish going on.
Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune is the one that you were talking about where he goes to the tea shop.
Right.
And Romantasy.
Romance is a romance in a fantasy setting.
Okay.
A lot of books nowadays are kind of considered fantasy.
Aren't you trying to do
romantasy? I'm not saying I'm struggling anymore because I think I found my pace. But yeah.
Okay.
It's more cozy fantasy than romantasy, but it's definitely got a little bit of both.
Okay. So okay, I'm gonna throw this wrench in there. What was the best book girlfriend for you? Think about some of your books that you've read, or even we'll even go like adaptation, right? What were some of the best? Like I have some of the best book boyfriends that I remember in Twilight Edward Cullen. Hunger Games was either Peeta Mellark or Gail Hawthorne. If I had to choose, it was definitely Gail. I would have never chose Peeta ever. In Divergent, it was Tobias Eaton. He was great. And one that everybody knows, Outlander, was Jamie Fraser.
I don't think I have attached myself to a female character like that. Where I've never been like I get attached to characters, but I don't think I've ever been attached to a female character.
I'm not attached to
like
boyfriend.
no. I just meant like then what do you? Okay, so when you consider someone
a book boyfriend is who the boyfriend was in the book.
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
not one that I'm like. That's my boyfriend.
Okay, I totally misunderstood.
I mean,
okay.
I wish some of them were.
Man, I am so sorry. My autism sometimes just makes me incapable of understanding.
Literalism. All right, so I'll throw this at you, okay? Which authors make you buy a book without reading the description? Period. Like period.
Oh, period. I think I've been better about picking up just about anything Stephen King lets me read.
Okay. So I have this nasty habit. Okay, I don't go by authors.
Are you genre horror?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's terrible. I will base it off of the. And it's so terrible because I've probably lost a lot of books. And I don't do that all the time now. It was something that I did. Be quiet, okay? It's something that I did probably about probably about 15 years ago.
As a graphic designer, I
Okay.
appreciate that. No. What I'm saying,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes, okay.
As an author,
But I used to. Like,
or
and I guess like I'm excited about some authors that
right,
are coming with their stuff, such as, the new Akhtar book and the new Fourth Wing book and, that kind of stuff. But that's because I'm in that storyline. I want to know where the
right,
characters are going and what they're doing because it's still unfinished, right?
right.
But I wouldn't just go and pick up another Rebecca Yarros book without going, hey, what's the concept of this one?
Right.
Like I don't just run because it's her. I used to have the comfort, like I said, of Nicholas Sparks and Jodi Cole. But as far as a comfort author now, I don't really have one.
Did you read V.C. Andrews?
I did,
Okay.
but she wasn't a comfort author.
Right, right,
Like I read Flowers in the Attic. I read that whole like series or whatever.
right.
And she had some other books that I tried to read, but I never really jumped off with that because, let's be so for real. There was some themes in those books that were a little like, what just
I have
happened?
no idea. I just asked because I think I remember you reading one of the Flowers in the Attic
Yeah,
book or something like
yeah.
that. So
Well,
I was
and
just
that's
trying to
yeah,
remember if
but
that was her or not.
so I guess looking back in my Libby account, because I am an audiobook lover, but when you had brought up the fact of what could work and what couldn't, and what could kill a book and what could make a book,
Mhm.
on an audiobook, that narrator will kill a book so fast. The narrator
You
in the
have
audiobook.
such a hang up on the audio or on the
Dude, I
the
cannot,
reader.
I cannot, dude. If that person does not read, let's be so for real, the Twilight books, Bella,
Oh my god.
Bella. It was so bad. It was so bad. Because she just overpronounced Bella. Like, oh, I understand enunciation, but holy mess. But I will say, like, I guess if I'm looking back at comfort books, especially in the audiobook realm, I do appreciate, again, I appreciate the graphic audio
Yep,
versions.
you are
They
definitely.
they use, like, if it's a series,
They use the same
they do
actors.
not change
Yeah.
those people. So like KS Breen with her magical midlife whatever, that's a comfort. I like listening to that and it's those characters are like all comfy because they're like some magical creatures that you would never think of, but they're just like hilarious. And
Was that the one that every once in a while I'll pick up on while you're listening to it, the one with the house and the.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean like comfort reads.
My biggest thing lately, I won't say lately. I picked up one of Ray Bradbury's books, Something Wicked This Way Comes. Extremely, I won't say an old book, but I think it was written in like late 60s, early 70s. One of the characters, and I couldn't listen to it because one of the characters says the N word
Oh,
every other word.
oh Lord.
And at first I thought, oh, okay, hopefully this guy won't stick around for a while. And I'm like 40 minutes in and I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
No, yeah, there's some things that are just off the table, period. Speaking of reading habits, like audiobooks, okay, paperback or hardcover?
I will read a paperback and get the hardcover for street cred.
What?
If I like a book good enough, I will buy a hardcover version of it.
Okay.
I have not bought a hardcover version of the Dark Tower series because I'm pretty sure I would go broke trying to do a seven
Oh, are
a
they like
seven
both?
book. No, it's just 7 books in
Oh,
hardback.
oh, okay. I used to be fully paperback, period. And that was because it was easier to carry. I would carry my books, but they would be carried, in my purse or
Right,
whatever.
so you had to keep it late.
Yeah,
I
whereas, but I have found myself picking up hardcovers from time to time, especially if it's a book that I know I want to read for sure. But I'm all over the place. See, I am a read all kinds of different genres.
right.
I don't have to stay. And there are certain ones that I have to have a hardback four. It's weird. So like if it's a like Cassandra Clare, she had the whole series of City of Glass, City of Lost Souls. They made the adaptation. So the Shadowhunter series by Cassandra Clare, I had to have a softback. And it was because of where I was reading. That was,
That makes sense.
yeah. So, but as far as like Kindle, I'm not a
You never
Kindle.
could read on a
I
Kindle.
cannot.
I could.
Nope.
It was different to get used to it, but like
Nope. I have to hold the tangible book.
I had a cover on mine, so it kind of felt like a book in my hand.
But I would like to physically turn a page.
Oh, I
Like that the whole, yeah. No, it's just a thing. All right, so bookmarks or a random receipt or a dog ear.
I think I've only dog-eared my own books.
Well, yeah, of course. If it's a library book, I won't dog ear
Right.
it.
I'll throw a bookmark in there.
I've done random receipts.
I've done random receipts on, well, what was it? The Wind in the Keyhole, I think is what it was. One of the Dark Tower series books. I think I had a receipt
Do
in
you
that.
read much? It seems like you're like,
I don't physically read much anymore, so that's why
well,
I
you just
could
listen to them again on audio.
I started listening because it was the first audiobook I decided to go grab. That's all. I haven't finished. Series is still there.
Okay.
What are you reading now then?
What am I reading now?
Or listening to? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm reading two. Well, I'm actually reading one and listening to another.
Now, okay, so how easily can you swatch back and forth between those two?
Very easy.
I hate you. I
Very
can't
easy.
do that.
I jump from one timeline to a different timeline.
I cannot read more
So
than one
right
book.
now, I'm listening to Wild Scottish Night by Trisha O'Malley. It's about a girl who inherits castle.
Doing some research, are we?
You know, I mean, hey. And then,
Oh, she's getting up physically.
the other book that I'm reading is called The Confessions of Franny Langton. So, and that one is about a Miss Franny Langton is in London and it's a scandalous case. And it's almost like a murder whodunit, which is way different.
Yeah, that's
than,
outside your
you know,
wheelhouse. That's interesting.
no.
I don't think you've.
Yes, I have.
What was the last murder mystery you?
Hold on a minute. Let me tell you what my timeline says. In May, you
Oh,
deserve to know that one, and Such Quiet Girls.
okay.
That was in May, and then I have other
My
ones.
bad.
And then I had other ones, and I mean, like I go. That's what I'm saying. I'm all over the place. It's not just for
Right.
fantasy, even
Right.
though I always love to.
You always come back to it, though.
I'll be that TikTok video where I try to jump into the book and the oddest one that I can say that I've read in the last 6 months that wouldn't have been in my normal realm was the autobiography by Crystal Hefner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Only Say Good Things. Wild. Okay, that would never have been in my realm. Before we recorded this episode, we just want to let you know that we did actually do some research concept there. We looked into what readers were talking about this week, either, through Goodreads or on Book Talk or on Facebook or all kinds of groups. But we did check out our stuff so that this episode is pretty timely.
I mean, you did a lot of the research because I knew most of the stuff you would find, I would find. So I let you do all the hard work.
Well, yeah.
I took notes on some stuff.
Yeah,
but
I mean, do you see my like? Okay, just so you're
okay.
aware, we do have like
We have
our
notes.
notebook paper that we make sure that we have,
So we're on the same
topics or
page.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right, so that we're on the same page. But mine,
Yours is a little ridiculous.
no, it's not even just that.
Yep.
Here
It's on the back of that one page.
here.
Yeah, it's
that's
gnarly.
Hold on.
That's
There.
yeah.
But I'm also the bookie. You're the writer.
Right.
I am the hardcore reader.
Right.
So, yeah. So anyway, but we were gonna I don't know, maybe touch on what's hot now. This is where, we wanted to get some ideas out there and hear from you too, but some of the stuff that's pretty much happening. Okay, Amazon just went flying down the road. Wow.
Squirrel.
Like, no, not, well, hello. We've already established that this has ADHD and a little bit of autism. Okay. But they just left a dust cloud like the Road Runner. No joke. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We wanted to talk about some of the best-selling releases. The newest book talk, Obsessions, the anticipated fantasy releases, adaptations that are either frequently redone, because let's talk about the frequently redone.
Uh-huh.
Because it seems like sometimes Hollywood doesn't ever have original ideas, okay? But also books that everyone is arguing about online. So, I mean, like, okay, let's talk about some anticipated fiction. Well, I should say not anticipated because they are here, but people are anticipating to read them for sure. And one of them that is a big hot button topic right now is Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. I can understand why it's a hot button because the synopsis makes you go, hey, ooh, wow, you want to look into that. It's kind of the way the synopsis is written, and I don't know why she wrote it. Like, if she had someone in her life, it was just a pop up thing in her head, or if she was going, hey, I had a total fan fiction that I wanted to write based on someone. So, long story short, the book, Jesse, is about this homesteading influencer that has many children and does cooking tutorials and shows her life on the farm, and then stuff happens. That's all I can say because I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
But can you see where I'm kind of going? There could have been a jump off point of a fan fiction.
Yeah, it sounds like she's writing.
And I hate it because I love her. Like I love this person's whole like show and influence
Um,
and all of
I
that.
can't remember her damn name now.
Okay, but okay, description and I'll tell you if you're right on the right track.
Is it it's one of the Food Network TV
Yep.
people. Is
Describe
it
and I'll
is
tell you
Ida
yes.
is it Ida Gardner?
No,
Gardner?
no, no, she's not a
Okay.
homesteader.
Um
She was the one that
Oh no, the
was,
home center. Is it is it Garth Brooks' wife?
no, ew, Trisha Yearwood?
Trisha
No,
Yearwood.
absolutely
Okay.
not. Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Um
Really?
that it pops in my head because
She's
you
not
said
even that
homestead.
big.
Um
She's big. This one's big.
I can't I for some odd reason
Products, everything.
products.
She sells different products and
I mean,
different.
everybody on Food Network does.
No, but
Is it Paula Deen?
no.
Okay,
She's southern.
I know,
She's
but
no, she's not a homesteader.
okay, then who am I missing? Am I gonna feel?
Pioneer woman.
Oh,
But
okay,
I don't
that's
feel like
hilarious.
that. Like, I think maybe it was a jump off start
Yeah.
than where it went. Woo!
Okay, I understand.
That was the one in the car that I would Ric Flair. Ew,
Oh.
don't do it. Don't. If
You
you,
brought it up.
nope,
You brought it
no, no, don't do it because I'll hurt you.
up.
Just mark my words, everybody who's listening. If he does it, you'll never hear from Jesse again. Okay? That's all there is to it. Either way, yeah.
Start the next episode
That
with
was
a in memory of.
the memorial. In the But anyway, no, that was the one I was sitting there going, don't know what's happening. Like I couldn't when I kept yelling at you in the car, going, I need you to listen to this because I don't know what's happening.
Oh, is that the one that jumps forward in time, or is that?
Yes and
Oh,
no.
okay.
Like you can't
Okay.
I can't really say too much because
Oh.
it'll mess it up. But anyway, apparently there's some other best-selling releases that are coming, such as There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel by Jason Pergin.
Okay, first of all,
Huh?
that's a legitimately amazing title.
Isn't it?
I don't care what it's about.
Right?
The title makes me read the book.
So shout out Jason. Cherry Baby by Rainbow Rowell. Vigil by George Saunders. A Private Band by Stephanie Ooh, I don't hate butchering people's names. I hate doing that to people. But Soya, I could be wrong. And Last Seen by Christopher Castanelli. If you have read any of these or if you are anticipating them, I would love to know because it's always good to know some of the new reads. Do you have any that you saw that piqued your interest?
There's one I grabbed that I'm on hold for 2 weeks. I usually stay away from the nonfiction stuff because I'm not like a big fan
Yeah.
of like nonfiction,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I found a book. It's called "A Resistance of History of the United States."
Oh, by who?
Okay, by Todd Stomer, and we'll
Okay.
come back to his name in a second.
Okay.
The synopsis is the history of resistant movements in the U.S. from colonial era forward. The author, Ted Schumer, or
Oh
Stover,
my goodness. Tell him you're
the
sorry.
author, I'm sorry, started his career as an official historian at Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh.
But
Oh.
it is a resistant movements that have happened throughout the United States,
Okay.
what they did right and what they did wrong. I'm not saying I'm going to be taking notes, but I intend on really listening close. Like I've read nonfiction books, I've read biographies
Well,
by,
yeah, I mean, like, I
those
don't
types of
tend
things,
to.
and I tend to kind of keep my distance from. I'm not a big fan of history books because I feel like we
Yeah.
live through so much history every day. I don't need to see it being. It happened once before. We're still doing the same mistakes. What gives? But other than that, I didn't see anything that kind of popped out at me. Also, a lot of the stuff that I was looking through is already on either Netflix with the adaptations, which will be coming too soon, or has already happened. So, and like I said, I let you do all the work on this one because I knew you'd dive way more into it than I would.
Some of the let's just touch on, the book talk obsessions. What I have observed, clearly the Rebecca Yarros releasing of Threshing book that's coming is a hot button.
Right.
So is Sierra Simone's book series, Priest, Sinner, and Saint. If I did those in the wrong direction, I am so sorry. Also, Clarissa Wilde, The Boys Who Hunt, Wild Boys, Evil Boys, Sick Boys. Those are hot buttons right now. Along with, oh, the Twisted Love series. That's one. Um, and Alchemized. I tried to get you to listen to that one. That one was hard for me.
Oh,
I
that was the
tried.
one. Okay, I tried listening to that, and there was so much going on at work. I couldn't focus on the. I
It,
couldn't
it
focus
literally, it was a
enough.
lot. It was a lot for me to try and focus on,
Yeah.
right? The other one that is real hot right now, we've actually been waiting on, is Haunting Adeline, which is getting an adaptation. So that is coming, and Den of Vipers is another one.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think a lot of these authors are purposely writing longer series to hopefully get picked up for adaptations?
I don't think they're writing longer series. My thought process on what's happening is that they're seeing that their first book goes, and while they've had their series in their brain, right? Like for instance, you have had your series in your brain, right? But based on how your first book does, they either jump and jump hard and fast, not for the purpose of making it to an adaptation, but to keep that world alive.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily for the adaptation.
Okay.
What I think is Hollywood is so unoriginal right now that they're picking up
Right.
the series, and by God, they better not ruin
Well, it
certain
was funny
ones.
because earlier, like we talked about a little bit earlier about the different adaptations and stuff. Books have always had adaptations.
Right.
So, like Dracula was a
Yep.
book, Wizard of Oz, a book, The Godfather, a
Yep.
book, The Shining,
Yep.
Silence of the Lambs, Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, Harry Potter, The Hunger Games.
Yep.
Those are all books, and those are huge, huge movies that changed cinema in their own ways. So it's not like Hollywood isn't doing anything different. It's just I think the difference of amounts of new stuff compared to reworks of old stuff have kind of gotten out
And
of
I
hand.
think that like the reworks happen because the new generation will not look at the old stuff, right? It's not that they don't because they don't. It's because they will not.
I also think it's harder sometimes, even though we are living in a world where we can watch just about any movie we can find
Yeah.
that we can think of. We can find it somewhere on the internet under a streaming service.
Well,
And I think, but that's the issue.
I think
Not
there's
every
that.
movie is available on those streaming services
Well,
right now.
not only that, but I think there's also the thing in everybody's brain at some point or time, and it's heavier for others,
Right.
especially those that cannot picture said person. They can picture said actor playing
Right.
said person, but they cannot picture
They can't picture
the character.
if someone is that's my recent how much description do I give my character?
Right.
Or do I fully describe my character or do I slowly just add details as they're needed?
Right. Okay.
How do you
So
describe
for
your main
instance,
character right off the bat? Or
well,
do you
like
just
so
kind
for
of give
instance,
some
right? They Rebecca Yarros, and we keep bringing her up because it's so
it's
fresh right
new.
now,
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
new.
like she didn't really explain Zayden until a little bit later.
Right.
We know he has dark hair.
Mm-hmm.
We know his skin is darker. What does that mean?
Right.
But boy, do people want to argue about it. Literally, on the Facebook group that I'm in for book talk that somebody created that has thousands of people, and all over TikTok, Instagram, all the socials, they're still arguing, what does Zayden Ryerson look like?
Mm-hmm.
And they can't. Like, there is such a fight of what these book talk obsessions
Okay.
have.
Okay, let's kind of let's spin off on that for a second since we're
Okay.
talking about adaptations. What do you think of something like what's happened with the Harry Potter reboot? Snape is a great character. He is a piece of crap character. His backstory is extremely filled with bullying and trauma from Harry's parents,
Correct.
or not parents, but okay,
Yeah.
he was teased because he was a half breed.
Yep.
Okay. The issue now is they have placed a black actor
Okay.
into the Snape role, and I think that would be fine and okay if there wasn't so much trauma and teasing for him being half breed, like a half blood in the book.
I don't understand where you're going.
James.
Okay, but see,
Okay.
here's what I'm trying to ask, I
Right.
guess, and I'll just ask it outright, okay? Did Snape in the book, okay, because the backstory or whatever, get teased for being a scrawny white boy who, like, was it said, you're a scrawny, stickly
He's
white boy?
scrawny and stickly. I don't think he was ever referenced as white, but J.K. Rowling didn't have any non-white characters in any of her books.
No, and that's fine, but what I'm saying is when you reference
Okay,
a scrawny, stick white boy versus a scrawny black boy, there's a difference.
I think in adaptations, though, that kind of thing can be ignored. If
Okay, but
them,
here's the thing.
let me continue though real quick with my thought. If their race has nothing to do with it, and you could argue that Snape's race doesn't have anything to do with it because it doesn't. However, it makes James Potter and his crew look like racist
Okay, see, there's the difference though.
more
Because
than
there's words that were used in the original character building of Snape. See, so that's the thing. But here's the thing too, okay? Is
I think we may edit this out, but keep going.
okay. I also believe that there is a need for more black presence
Absolutely.
in cinema,
Right.
and to see that, because the world is so messed up right now, right? Clearly people need to be smacked on the head again to see that it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It
Right.
matters, can you do the job?
Right.
I think it's not about being woke, right? It's about the need
Right.
to see
Right.
that Black presence. So when this adaptation, and remember, an adaptation, right,
It's a
is a result of changing to fit a new condition. The world we are in post
right.
COVID,
Yeah.
we are having to rewrite the new conditions because of the idiots. So,
Hmm.
in that aspect, I don't see it as a bad thing. However, they need to watch themselves in the adaptation. Now, is it out already? I don't, okay.
No, they're having problems because they're school aged children
Ah, yeah.
and they can only film so
Only
much
13 hours. Yeah,
hours and they
absolutely.
have to be
Absolutely.
schooled and no one thought about that for in during pre-production. It's
Oh,
the
no,
same
because
as
it's
you
not like
said.
the 80s when all of those kids were overworked.
Well, it was
And
even during the original series, like
I'm
during
just
the
saying, but even
movies.
then, not
It
like the
was
80s where they
right.
were overworked.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I think that because of the post world that we live in,
Hmm.
you know, and the times that we live in, where people are definitely showing their ass more,
Right.
I do think that it's actually a good move in a way.
Okay.
They just have to watch
Right.
themselves
Right.
with the original script to not play into something so hard.
That wasn't there to begin with.
Correct. So, yes, I don't have a problem with that. Now, if they were movies like, um, oh, I'm trying to even think of okay, so like The Green Mile, okay,
Yeah.
with Tom Hanks and I forgot his name, that actor. He's so phenomenal. The one that played the prisoner, the main prisoner, the black guy.
Anthony Michael Duncan
Okay,
or
him.
something. I'm
There,
probably way off, but
okay. But he played that role phenomenal,
mhm,
okay, because of the time set. He could not have played the role that Tom Hanks played because of the historical setting.
right,
If they did an adaptation of The Green Mile today,
right,
that still would not be appropriate to put a black man or a Hispanic man into the position that Tom Hanks
because
played
of the time period.
because of the time period. Okay. Harry Potter is a whole different, it's a magical world.
Right.
So you could have,
It's based in the 90s.
okay, but it's still
So,
a magical
right,
world. So really, like magical world, hello, labyrinth.
right,
Okay. Yes, I understand that was a lot of puppetry and, that kind of stuff. But, you could have, or let's even go away from labyrinth, which I never do, but never ending story,
uh-huh,
right? How many characters did you see of all skin colors in never ending story?
right,
The main head magical priest was a black man,
uh-huh,
but the girl was a sickly looking white girl who screamed for Bastian to call her name
uh-huh.
because it represented, I don't want to say it because for people who didn't see it,
I'm
she's
pretty
screaming her
sure the,
name. No,
I'm pretty
I can
sure
guarantee you there is a lot
this,
of people who have
yeah, but
not.
what
My
are they?
point is, my
Right,
point is,
right,
magical world, it fits.
right,
Adaptation of what is needed today, post ridiculous
right,
government
yep,
situations and post COVID, because people like to show their behind, and I will say that
yeah,
outwardly, like bam, people show their behind too much now. I think it's not a bad move, but certain historical context movies, or if it's one that would involve um, using a farm working man who or woman homesteading type who were very poor and of that nature using somebody other than a white person would and could come across wrong
right,
because of history.
right.
So, as far as the other ones on Book Talk that I've seen, Elemental Awakening by Bobby Workman is another one, and The Dark in Her Veins by M.K. Lob. Again, Book Talk is real heavy right now on the dark fantasy, the romantasy, because that's what's hot right now.
Right.
Um, but as far as anticipated, um, fantasy releases that are happening. Um, I haven't seen too many that are like, hey, I need to know. Some anticipated fantasy releases that I did find were The Thrice Bound Fool by Christopher Buhlman and The Poet Empress by Shen Tao, Adversary to the Villain by Hannah Mayer, and of course, the Akatar 6 book by Sarah J. Maas. That one is anticipated by us truly. We are anticipating that one. It's coming out in October. And just for some of my thriller friends, my suspense friends, especially those who are listeners, because I know she'd kill me because I'm not on the romantasy fantasy train, but I have a big deal with Frida McFadden. Don't come for me. I got you. So, The Witch by Frida McFadden. Okay? Hear the Dead by Anne Davila Cardinal. The Trip by Audrey J. Cole. Anatomy of an Alibi by Ashley Elston. Rights of the Starling by Devaney Perry, that's a big one. Veiled Court, Daggermouth, Summer Island, Kristen Hanna, here she comes again. That's one. Lights Out by Nevesta Allen.
How is that still on the list?
Because it is that dark.
Morally gray.
All right.
Did you finish listening?
No, we have not.
I didn't know if you.
But when it
kept.
has
There's a
that
lot.
a warning list.
Yeah, that warning
Oh,
was read
okay.
like a porn search.
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Sorry if I said that wrong. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman.
Okay,
Let me
so
tell you about Dungeon Crawler Carl. I cannot talk today. Let me tell you about that. That is a hot take right now. That one is hot take.
I've kept my distance because I don't want to be a part of that. I want to just keep my distance until they weed out the toxicity from the online communities. There are people that want to stand there and scream and yell
Hey, listen.
and be
Okay.
gatekeepers. I don't have that kind
Hey,
of time.
listen. Just
I just want to
enjoy it
enjoy
for
this
yourself.
stuff. Yeah.
Don't worry about what they're saying.
Yeah.
There's plenty of books that I have read myself that people are like, but hello, Twilight series, Jesse.
I don't
How
think
much do people give
Yeah. I
that series? It really is. It is either I love it or you hate it.
Right.
And if you are a stan,
No, you're ready. You're not a stan.
hold on a minute, okay? If you are a stan for Twilight, then you are a ratty. Period. Queen Kayla all the way, okay? But and anybody who is a Sparkly fan knows Queen Kayla. Don't play.
Right.
But if you're not a fan and you hate Twilight, you will be like, ew, worst ever. I hated the blue overlay on the first movie. Ew, the animatronics and special effects of the wolves. Ew, sparkly vampires, are you so for real? Ew, Claire de Lune. Ew, okay, why doesn't Edward have a bed? Okay, exactly. All right, I've heard all of it, but play with me. Play with me, okay? Just say, play with me when it comes to that. And My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney, which will also lead us into the anticipated adaptations. That one is coming as an adaptation. What adaptations have you seen coming?
I saw that Netflix redid the Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
And I heard that it was more faithful to the original book series.
Oh, okay.
But because of that, it came out very bland.
Oh.
And very kind of almost soulless.
Oh.
It was almost like they were acting. I haven't seen it. I have zero dog in that battle. I don't think I would ever open up and watch Little House on the Prairie on
Right.
purpose. I made for this podcast now that I say that out loud because
It's a heartwarming
someone's gonna go.
series.
I remember watching one or two episodes
Right,
like on repeat or whatnot, but
right.
I it's just not my forte. So I kept, but I watched the Stephen King Long Walk adaptation. It's just a suggestion. Go watch it. It's good.
I do know some that have already happened are, for instance, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. That was starring Ryan Gosling. The Odyssey is on its tour right now of people. Hey, Anne Hathaway is in that one. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte that came out.
Let's back out again.
No, it already did come out
Oh,
a few months ago. So that came out, and The Testaments, which is the other part of The Handmaid's Tale. People We Meet on Vacation, that's on Netflix. That is one that's happening. Emily Henry, she's really big in the spotlight right now. And then Bridgerton comes back into 2027. They haven't said exactly when, but that's coming back. Another one that you might like, and I wouldn't mind seeing it either. It's more suspense. It's an adaptation done by Harlan Coben. Oh my goodness! But it was a book called I Will Find You, and it's actually done in a series on Netflix. So you would probably like that. He's a pretty well-known author in the suspense. Lord of the Flies got remade again, and that's on Netflix.
Dick
Yeah.
the pig, make it bleed. I'm trying to
Mhm.
remember when did I see that. I don't. We read the. I want to say ninth grade. Is that ninth
We
grade?
did. I did not. I don't know if you had to. I did not.
I had to read it, but then we watched the movie, and I
Okay.
think I got more out of the movie than I did the book.
Okay. Some other adaptations too that you do need to be on the outlook for, which is a series that's been going on for how long? Okay. Our friend who wrote Little Bear, Suzanne Collins, the newest adaptation of Sunrise on the Reaping is coming in November to theaters.
I didn't know she kept writing for that series
Hunger
for
Games?
Hunger Games. Not Little Bear. That's a weird Little Bear title.
No.
But
Okay. Okay. Wow.
um, yeah,
Right.
I know. Amazing. Uh,
Wow. Wow, Jesse.
oh, we
Wow.
gotta end it there. That's a perfect fucking end point. Do you want to? We've already talked about the Facebook community. Do you want
Not
to talk
let me
about it
say it.
again?
All right, ready? You don't need to always just
No,
people already
no,
talk
no,
about.
no,
Shut
no, no.
up.
I
There's
was just saying we
reasons.
can edit
No,
that there's
no, shut up.
reasons.
Mer.
Go.
Okay. So, those who might have heard in the beginning, we are launching our own Facebook community, and actually, it's already there. And there's already buzz on there. Not many people yet, but we're new, so it's getting there. But we have heat happening. So be sure to come join because we know the conversation doesn't end when the episode does. And we do want you to have a place to share these recommendations of these books or talk about your favorite characters or celebrate new releases or even debate tropes. Without judgment, please. Because, again, as we heard with the dungeon crawler Carl, we don't want you to have to stay away,
I
but we also
will.
want you to become a ratty. Just saying, okay? But without judgment. Whether you read one book a month or 10 books a week, we'd love to have you join us. And we'd love to have you join us just on every topic episode
Right.
that we talk about. We have even posted pictures, already started posting pictures from our What Were We Thinking episode. Oh, yeah, please no judgment, okay? To end this episode, we wanted to ask a few questions for you to actually conversate on. Like, what's your favorite book of all time?
Which book changed your life?
What's the most overrated book you've ever read?
Which fictional character would you want as your best friend?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh
That
my.
is actually a pretty good one.
Which MMC or MFC, remember, main male character, main female character, okay? Lives rent free in your head.
What's one trope you'll always read?
Which trope are you completely over?
What's the last book that made you ugly
Oh,
cry?
man. If you could erase one book from your memory just to experience it again for the first time, what would it be?
And if you could erase one book from your memory so you never had to experience it ever again, which would it be?
That's not nice. Because they all have their place. I think books are one of the few things that can introduce you to new people who don't exist and somehow leave you feeling like you've lost a friend when the story ends.
And the best books just don't entertain you, they change how you look at the world.
So now it's your turn.
Come join us in the Facebook group. Tell us what books changed you. We want to hear recommendations, unpopular opinions, favorite tropes, and yes, we even let you defend the book everyone else seems to hate.
Until next time.
Love you.
Shut up.
Time to edit this bitch.
I'm Ric Flair, and don't wrap me up. Ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! That's right, that's right. Maybe I need to learn how to use a board correctly. If only there was someone that could have taught me how to use a soundboard correctly. All of our children are being loud tonight. Thanks.
Gosh, now our fur children clanging bowls around and all that stuff.
MMC is main male character.
Try again.
I'm going to trip up that every single time.
Main.
Main male character. Main male character. I feel like Joey. Main male character. Okay.
How you doing?
So
Is this the one that you were telling me that you would play at work?
No, that was King's Quest. That was a video game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought you told me something about
Same guy.
to have-
Oddly enough,
like they used to play D&D.
they played before I came along. Well, before he got married and had kids, they would play Dungeons and Dragons in this guy's basement, and they were still friends because they worked with one another.
Okay.
They started working with one another, and the couple of times I went over there, I was amazed by, like, you hear about stories of people getting, like, the nerded out houses now with, like, oh, they have a game room with a big gaming table where people can sit around.
Yeah.
And, you know, the miniatures on the wall. This dude had that in the early 80s.
So it was like a real Stranger Things thing.
It was, yeah, they would go to his house and play D&D.
About Stranger Things, because I do remember that in the very first beginning, because I was trying to get into it.
Right.
And
well, they just had like their own little thing around. This guy had like the whole 9 yards, and like that always stuck with me. So he let me borrow.
Your mind.
It really did, because when I started buying those miniatures, those things are not cheap.
No.
And that was back before resin came along and plastic. They were metal. And I'm getting ahead of myself. So